Welcome back to Rim Racket. This episode, we're just going to be discussing recent news. Before we do anything, please subscribe and like the video. We also will be uploading this to Spotify. Like it on there. I don't know how Spotify works. I assume there's a like button.
You can like and follow the podcast. That way, whenever we drop new podcasts, you get a notification immediately.
Do both of them.
Please and thank you.
Now, to get into the news, Damian Lillard is a Milwaukee Buck. What are our thoughts? Because me, personally, you guys have already started talking before we started recording. I want to pick up where you guys left off. Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo are like this. They're the perfect combination of players. So, when you think of big twos, who's the first two you think of off rip right now?
Bron and D-Wade.
That are in the league.
Oh, okay. Stephen Clay.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe 5 years ago.
They still play together.
LeBron and AD, they have a championship.
All right, LeBron and AD. They're
Jamal
both.
and Jokic.
There we go. Jamal and Jokic versus LeBron and AD. What's the difference?
Jamal and Jokic, that's a guard center. That's two different positions.
And then you have LeBron
Two
and
different
AD.
play styles.
Play
Two different
styles,
play styles, yeah.
LeBron and AD.
Two big forwards that.
There you go.
Yeah, they're very
So
similar.
Giannis and Dame are going to be two totally polar opposite styles, and I think that is what's gonna help them propel. I didn't mute. Pain. What's gonna help them propel to be in conversations for the championship?
I will say that, off the top of my head, there's been a lot of duos in the past 25 years. Shaq and Kobe, LeBron and D-Wade. Anyone LeBron's ever teamed up with, right? There's been duos in the NBA, and they complement each other, but there's not been a complementary pair like this since probably John Stockton and Karl Malone. Because if you think about
We'll
it,
talk about him.
John Stockton, every part of his game, none of it interferes with what Karl Malone does on the court.
Stop saying his name.
And then what
The mailman.
the mailman does, nothing he does on the court interferes with what John Stockton does. But they elevate themselves to be better. They're the perfect complements for each other. And if you think Shaq and Kobe, they complement each other pretty well, but they obviously had their flaws, and maybe it was just personality types and play style, and ended up, after 3 championships not working. But I saw this graphic, and it shows that Dame brings all the attention, 3 to 4 defenders, to the 3-point line, whereas Giannis brings the attention 3 to 4 defenders to the paint. So if you have both those guys on your team, and if you're playing defense and you put 3 guys in the paint to stop a Giannis, then that leaves Dame from 3-point land pretty much wide open. And then vice versa, if you have Dame garnering all your defensive attention to the 3-point line, then you have Giannis in the paint giving you easy buckets. They just complement each other almost perfectly on paper.
The only way it could get any better is if it was Steph and Giannis.
Yeah, literally.
That's it.
He's a step right below Steph. But it's a perfect pair for Giannis. It's just someone he's always needed.
It was alarming to see. I didn't think Dame would go to Milwaukee.
He left Portland to go to Milwaukee.
Right. Basically, that but colder.
Yep.
City-wise.
They gonna
It's a
get
good pickup for Milwaukee, obviously. I don't think the hype. I'm not following the hype with it. Milwaukee's going to be good. They're going to be a top 3 seed. They were going to do that. They were going to be that anyway, with or without Damian Lillard. The championship, I'm not really high on for the simple fact of you got duos everyone was hyping up Kyrie and Luka, or Kyrie and KD, or James Harden and Joel Embiid, and duos like that. Kawhi and Paul George. Everyone, when all of them got together, they're gonna make a run for the championship. They're gonna make a run for the championship. They're gonna win the championship. And I don't know. I'm just not following that hype. Quite frankly, I think Jamal Murray and Jokic are a better duo. I think if it came to a 7-game series, that Denver would take them. I mean, they're gonna, like I said, they're gonna do good. I'm not taking nothing away from Milwaukee at all. Good pickup. probably going to be first in the East. But the championship, I don't see it. Maybe not now, but that's just me, though. I don't want to sound like a hater or a Debbie Downer or nothing like that.
I think they'll be fine.
Like I said, they're
Their
good.
roster
Like, they're
is
going to
good.
be good.
The only thing they gave up was Jrue Holiday.
And
They still have Chris Middleton. They still have
Bobby Portis.
They
Pat
got
Connaughton.
Malik Beasley.
But they're real
Malik
top.
Beasley.
They're real top heavy though.
Brooke Lopez.
They're top.
They're not top
very
five.
deep. No,
They're deep.
yeah, that's what's
They were like a
surprising.
55-win team last year, and they lost one player, and they
A
added
top-
a player that's like 3 times better than them.
The Celtics are what you're thinking of. In my
Celtics are like
Now.
4-player deep team.
because they have Tatum, Brown, Porzingis, Jrue Holiday.
Milwaukee still has a roster of champions if you think about it, besides Dame and maybe like some other pieces that are young, rookies or people they just signed up with that are like on 2-way contracts. Other than that, there's still a roster of championship pedigree people. And they added a top 75.
You gave up an older Jrue Holiday who's still great defensively. Not as what he used to be, but he's still pretty good defensively.
He's probably the best defender in the league.
You gave up you gave up Grayson Allen, a good shooter off the bench, probably your best shooter off the bench.
That guy's buns.
Great.
No,
Hey,
the
Duke's
Duke's coming out of you.
No, Grayson Allen was
Your
a
Duke's
bucket.
showing.
Grayson Allen was a bucket. Grayson Allen was a bucket off the bench. Can't tell me I'm wrong. The rookie, I don't know. I don't know the rookie, so.
Dame is better than Jrue Holiday and Grayson Allen put together times 3.
Did I say that? Did I say that?
No, I'm just saying. And then
But
I'm not trying to
you
like
lose-
shit on what you're
losing-
saying.
You are. They
I'm
lost key pieces. They got Dame, yes, but
The only key piece they lost was Jrue Holiday. Grayson Allen's replaceable. Just a 3-and-D guy. And he doesn't even really play that often unless you want him to go break somebody's neck.
So let me just what Milwaukee's needed is more consistent offense, right? They didn't need a better defense. They've been top defensive team in the league for like the past 5 years in a row, up there. So your problem isn't defense.
Losing Jrue Holiday will hurt.
I know, but you still have Giannis, who's a 2-time defensive player of the year. Chris Middleton, who's a pretty solid perimeter
if he
defender.
doesn't get hurt.
Pat Connaughton, his whole thing is just being a good 3-and-D guy.
That is the only thing
Brooke
holding back
Lopez.
his injuries.
Brooke Lopez, dude, is still a monster on defense. He has been since he played for Brooklyn.
They just signed Campaign.
Like, all I'm saying is
Not Isaiah Thomas.
that
Poor guy.
it's not going to happen. Milwaukee's problem has never been defense.
I
And
know,
Jrue Holiday,
but losing Jrue Holiday in a real guard-heavy league will hurt them defensively.
it will hurt them, but they're not going to be hurt enough to where defense is a problem for them. If the number one defense in the league is consistent off one player, then that's very few and far between. It's a team defense, and if you only lose one good defender off a team of really good defenders, plus a 2-time defensive player of the year in Giannis, and you're bringing in, more offense, which was your problem against Miami, and where you got beat in the first round, I think Milwaukee's in better shape. They are not. I mean, you're missing out on Jrue Holiday, who's probably the best defensive guard in the league. He's been like first-time All NBA defense or first team like the past 2-3 seasons. Like, dude has solidified himself as like the premier, like top kind of guard. Him and Marcus Smart are just neck and neck in terms of their defensive skill. But Damian Lillard is a top 75 player all time, and he solves a lot of the offensive problems you've had. And you still have a really good defensive team, and you're still really like 8, 9, 10 players deep that all have championship pedigree.
I mean, the Nuggets have championship pedigree with people that hardly got any PT until the chip came.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I think
and
Nuggets,
like I said, that's just one team I'm mentioning. But
yeah.
you're gonna have to go against somebody in the West. I believe the Nuggets are making it out of the West.
Oh yeah.
Yet again.
I think it's gonna be Nuggets and Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. But I think the Nuggets are building something kind of like how Golden State built something from the ground up. They're built, not bought, kind of thing. I feel like the Nuggets are that, and the championship runs through Denver. Obviously, they just won, so it's theirs to lose. But I think if there's any team that matches up against Denver really well, is Milwaukee. You think if you have your duos, Dame, slightly better than Jamal Murray. Jokic, very, very slightly better than Giannis. Like, very slightly. Like, the only thing that he does that Giannis really can't do is shoot the ball. Giannis can do literally everything else. He can make the crazy passes. He can make a lot of rebounds. He can defend any player on the court. Jokic just can shoot better and maybe facilitate a little bit better. But if you're like going head to head, Jokic obviously is just a hair above Giannis. But Damian Lillard is like a couple steps above the Jamal Murray in terms of talent. And so they match up really, really well.
As a team.
I got
the Nuggets over the Bucks. Like I said, I'm just not really riding the hype. Like I said, they're going to be good. They're going to be top 3, if not the first seed in the East. No doubt about it. But I'm just not following the hype like everyone. Because Dame is 34 at the end of the day. He's getting up there. Which
It's only going to take this year. Maybe next year.
They're win now.
Yeah.
They're not trying to build something. They're trying to win.
I know. But, I mean, they're still pretty good teams in the East. The East isn't what it used to be. The East isn't a cakewalk like it used to be. There's teams putting up fight. Like your Miami. They put up fight.
If Miami doesn't make any moves, then the East is like a 3 deep, 3 teams deep. And that's not me just like being like no one else can make it. I'm just trying to be realistic in terms. If Miami does not make any more moves, I only see like 3 people that are up there, and that's Boston, Milwaukee, and fucking
Philly.
No.
Dude, why is my
Cleveland.
brain? Cleveland. Gosh, I cannot think for a second. Cleveland.
News
So those are.
Oh,
I think the
I
East is
agree.
very just like a 3-team deep conference, whereas the West still, you have probably 9-10 good teams that could all make the
but
playoffs.
like just because the East doesn't have the star power like the West does, I mean, you got the Knicks who might not go far, but they're a tough team. Miami proved that you can't sleep on them at all.
Yeah.
Cleveland is Cleveland. Philly, if they don't get rid of James Harden, which they're gonna have to do something. They're gonna have to do something with James Harden. But I mean, they're still gonna be good because Tyrese is a monster. Joel's reigning MVP. Then you got Brooklyn. Brooklyn's going to be a sneaky team. And I feel like Trae Young is going to bounce back this year after last year. Atlanta might be sneaky. That's 6 teams right there.
Those are 6
I don't
good
even think I
teams.
said Boston. Boston is
Yeah.
Boston.
Those are 6 good teams
7.
that are 7, or without Boston, those are 6 good
Yeah.
teams that are.
Again, am I saying all of them are got a better chance than Milwaukee at the chip? No. But I'm not saying Milwaukee's got a better shot either. At the end of the day, at the start of the season, everybody's got a fair shot at the chip. Everybody's got a fair shot at the chip, regardless of which team looks like, who's injured, who's not.
So you tell me the Hornets have a fair shot at the chip?
As the start of the NBA season, yes,
No.
they start off 0-0 like everybody else. So in a technicality, they have a fair shot at the chip.
I mean, if you're looking at it as in like
Because then everybody
very plainly,
didn't everybody
everyone's
think
record 0-0, right? But it's deeper than that. You look at who's on the roster. If it was everyone had similar rosters and 0-0, any can win. But you don't look at the record starting day. You don't look at 0.
You looked way too deep in what I was saying.
No, you're saying everyone has a fair shot from day one.
Yes.
No, they don't.
Yes.
If you look at the rosters, just if you have an analytical mind and you can look at rosters and player development and statistics throughout the past few seasons, not everyone has the same opportunities starting from day one.
Didn't everybody think the Jazz was going to win the championship or have a fair shot at the championship last year?
No.
Yes, when they were running
The
when
Jazz?
when the Jazz was running it.
I didn't think the Jazz.
I don't think I've met a single person in like real life or online that thought the Jazz had a serious shot of it. They were like, "Oh, the Jazz are hot right now because it's the beginning of the season, but they're going to fall off," and that's exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm.
You can start off hot.
Technically, at the start of the season, everybody got a fair shot at
You
it.
can start off hot, but by the time that
Because who's to say Chris Middleton doesn't get hurt again this year? And then you're out a wing player. Then you got to go to your bench to get someone off the bench to cover for Chris Middleton.
Jay Crowder.
by the time April rolls around, the best teams from where we can look at right now are still going to be the best teams in the league on something, unless like a big name player gets hurt. Any way you want to cut it, do it. But I can guarantee that unless something happens to like these top teams in the West and the East, that I could probably name the playoff picture pretty well. How it's going to be looking in April. So, like I said, unless something happens, Embiid gets hurt, Giannis gets hurt, LeBron gets hurt, people on these teams that are going to be top 4 teams in each conference, unless something like that happens, obviously you can't predict injuries, or
LeBron's
stuff
in the
like
West.
that.
I said LeBron's in the West.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I said four teams in either conference.
Well,
I can just guarantee by April, if no one gets hurt, I can probably pinpoint the teams that are going to be in the playoffs.
I just know the league has had crazy
it won't be
duos
the
in the
Hornets.
past couple of years, and nobody's really.
But those duos aren't like.
You don't have
Giannis
to,
and
but
Dame.
you don't have to have star power.
But
to
I
make
did
a
wanna-
good duo.
I didn't want to
Jamal
touch
Murray and
to that.
Jokic, yes, they are.
Those,
They're
that's
all
a
stars.
good
They're all stars,
duo.
yes.
Because
But
they're
they've-
different.
But Jamal doesn't have the star power like Dame has, and Jokic doesn't play like Giannis does. But they're still a good duo. They play well together.
Well, that's different because if you're drafted, kind of like how the Warriors, they drafted these players and they learn to be great with who they have.
Exactly. And
That's what the Nuggets have.
You can't just make two superstars play together and expect it to go well.
But that's different because Milwaukee has built a.
Not in all cases. Not in all
No,
cases.
but
I mean, it's happened.
Not in all
But what I'm
cases,
trying to
though.
get at is that
You threw
Milwaukee-
Kyrie, James Harden, and KD on the team, and they didn't even make the conference final.
I
I
was saying that they
I
were
want to
gonna
address
make
that. You said that in the past few years you've had all these duos come together and everyone's like they're going to the chip. People have said that, but also from day one, like for example, the day that KD and Kyrie joined the Nets, there are people that are saying, well, this might not work because this, and this, health, having the ball in your hands, whatever. People were being realistic about expectations for those teams.
But yeah, everyone
But
said
here the thing is, and they do that with every single duo.
exactly.
But this duo is different because you don't see a lot of people that are going out and saying, well, this might not work because of this. Because there's not a lot of those what ifs, whereas there is with those other duos. With Kawhi and Paul George. What if they don't? What if they're not
Kawhi and
healthy?
Paul George were healthy.
What if they're not healthy? But like I said,
they're good.
they are
You
good.
could say that with everybody, though.
And then last year,
you
whenever
could say that with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Kevin Durant had a toe on the line. If he didn't have a toe on the line, he would have been in the finals.
yeah. But all I'm saying is that if there was a lot of knocks to the Dame and Giannis fit, they would have been brought up already. But there's not a lot of knocks. But whenever there's knocks to be brought up, they have been brought up in every duo being paired together. Whenever Joel and James Harden got teamed up, they're like, this might not work because the way James Harden plays doesn't really complement the way Joel Embiid plays. But there's the chance that they put it together and they win a championship. But people were very realistic about their expectations.
But who's to say they do put it together?
My only thing is, okay, the only difference between those duos that you're naming and this duo as well is that those duos, for example, KD, Kyrie, their role player was Cam Johnson. Dame and Giannis, their role player is Bobby Portis, or they still have Chris Middleton. Like that's three good players.
Like a two-time.
They have Malik Beasley, a bucket. They have a good team all around. It's not just three guys and some G Leaguers or some people who aren't going to get playing time on any other team.
Yeah.
It's like a good cohesion of people.
Like
if it was
Milwaukee's
just
already won.
Dame and Giannis, then I'd be like, yeah, maybe they're not going to win the chip. But they have something there, sure. But it's not just Dame and Giannis. They already have the team that have won a championship. They just got rid of Jrue.
And they just got.
And again, they don't have Jrue as the best perimeter defender in the league, in my opinion. But losing him will hurt defensively. You get top 4 point guard in the league in Damian Lillard, who's going to give you a 25 minimum, in my opinion.
Yeah.
On a night, every night. So, defensively, will they take a hit? Sure. Offensively, are the other teams going to take a hit? Absolutely. You're getting Dame and Giannis. Giannis averages like freaking 30.
35.
And you're giving them a guy that can shoot from the half-court line and up. I think it's a good fit. Now, are they going to win a championship? Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? But I do think they're
But you gotta
the
have
greatest
you
fit.
gotta have the what ifs.
But
You gotta have the what ifs.
you don't, though. It's
if you
just,
live your
again,
life
this
on
is
hypotheticals.
the sports things again.
Yeah.
Why are we living negatively? We're just.
I'm not living. You gotta be realistic. You gotta
I
have the
am.
what ifs.
They're a good duo. If they don't make it, they don't make it. But
If
I'm
you
not going to
live-
put that bad mojo out there for them not to make it.
I'm not.
I'm gonna get like philosophical now. You're talking about sports. If you
Alright.
live your life on what ifs instead of the reality that's in front of you day in and day out, then you are gonna have a very like tumultuous like. But what if I did this? What if I did this 5 years ago? Or what if I do this in the future and this happens?
Bro.
Man, just live your life. It doesn't have to be a. But what if this happens?
Just live
Because
your
you're just
life.
gonna be bitter and you're gonna look for every bad
You're trying to call
outcome.
me bitter right now for having an opinion. That's
Bitter?
outrageous.
I already knew her.
Outrageous. Outrageous.
But I did want to bring up one more point about what you said about like duos that are thrown together. The one difference that I think this makes that will make this work out better than other duos is that like for the KD, Kyrie, and James Harden
You got
situation,
Kyrie,
right?
Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal right now in the West.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Oh. Wait,
KD, Kyrie, and James Harden.
Bradley Beal, KD, Devin Booker on the
You
West.
said Kyrie.
Oh, I meant KD.
Yeah, I
KD,
know,
Devin Booker,
and that's
Bradley
why
Beal.
I'm not saying that they're favorites either, because there's this thing that teams do where they take a bunch of superstars and they throw them together, and they're like, hopefully this works, and it's happened before with Miami, but
Warriors.
and the Warriors.
KD.
I mean, KD came into an already established system.
Yeah, but it worked.
I know, but that's not
Everybody was
that's
like-
not what I'm saying.
Like Clay, shout out Clay. Clay was like on opening night, I think it was like he got asked a question. He was like, "So are you gonna take like as you're shooting the amount of touches you get, gonna take a hit?" And he was like, "My touches," and by God, they did not take a hit. He still averaged like 20 with KD and Steph on his team as a third option.
I think so what I'm trying to say is that there's been times where teams that do not have an already established like realm of play, they just try and add superstars together and force it. Like in 2019, the Nets were like, how about we hire Steve Nash and Amari Stoudemire as our coaches? And then we go get KD and Kyrie. And then the next year we get James Harden. Cool. On paper, that is really, really good. But you don't have an established system. You don't have players that have been there and know that system. And you can plug players in different spots for that system to work. And so it didn't end up working out. But with the KD and the Warriors system, the Warriors were a 73-win team. And they were coming off of being in their second year in the finals in a row. And so they already have an established system with an established coach. And they just plugged in a really good player into that. And that's why that ended up working out for them.
Play Kuminga.
So the reason why I think that this is going to work out for Milwaukee is because Milwaukee already has a championship pedigree system already in place, and they're just plugging in a really good person.
They got rid of Mike Bootyholder. So
they're just plugging in a really good player into that system.
But the East is not a cakewalk, is what I'm saying. It's a good duo. They're going to be a good team.
I think that they're going to get
They're going to be good.
Yeah.
They're gonna make a way there. But again, the East is not a cakewalk. You can't sleep on everybody in the East. Miami came from the play-in, went to the finals against the Nuggets.
Yeah.
You can't sleep on everybody in the East. You can't. You can't do it. Now that the Cavs got a little bit of playoff experience, they might make a run for it. Like I said, Boston just got Jrue Holiday, which makes them better defensively.
Yeah.
Since they just lost Marcus Smart, you got Philly because Joel's a beast. I don't know what they're going to do with James Harden. Like I said, Brooklyn's going to be a sneaky team. I think Brooklyn is a good team, a good solid team.
Pat Beverly said they're a top 4 team in the East.
I heard that.
Pat Beverly would say anything. And then he'll shout out his podcast.
Pat Beverly also said the Sixers without James Harden are going to be a top 3 team. So Pat Beverly,
I feel like Atlanta's going to be a sneaky team. So there's teams that you can't just knock because they don't have the star power.
No, all those teams are really good.
Like everyone thinks Phoenix is going to be the top seed, and they might. Who knows if they put them 3 together? But you got the Lakers, you got the Kings, you got the Warriors, you got who else in the Nuggets. Fuck, I forget.
I think on paper, Suns are on paper better than the Nuggets, right? If top to bottom roster wise, you're like, oh, they have a lot more star talent than they do over here in Denver. But like I said, Phoenix does not have an established system, an established coach. They have a brand new head coach. And so that's why just throwing a lot of players together is not going to work. But that's why I'm saying in the East with Milwaukee, putting a good player into an already good system as opposed to adding a lot of good players into no system at all makes a really big difference. Systems in basketball, coaching really matters. And it's pretty evident whenever you have a good coach how far they can take you.
Who's the Bucks coach anyway?
I think they moved up either someone from their assistants or they hired the guy from the Raptors, one of the assistants there. I forget his name.
Yeah, I'm bad with coach names.
But
like
you realize Giannis has played like All-Star games with Dame.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, he drafted Dame.
Yeah.
But
First selection.
he's somewhat, we won't count the All-Star game as like actually playing with a player, like getting the system filled for the player type thing. But no one else in the Bucks, not a lot of people in the Bucks, have had a point guard like that with that type of star power, with that skill. Because Dame has more skill than Jrue Holiday.
I think that star power is pretty easy. Give him the ball and get out of the way.
Yeah, but you got people. Chris Middleton might not want to give up touches. He might feel like he has
Chris
to give
Middleton
up
better give up touches.
Yeah.
He might not want to. He might not want to give up touches. Brook Lopez might not want to give up touches.
Brook Lopez don't get that many touches.
But when he does, he might not want to give them up. We don't know how it's going to work. That's why you got to have the what ifs.
I think we're just talking in circles.
I will say this: the reason why I'm so adamant that I think this is going to work out is because I want it to work out for the sake of Dame. I think I can speak for everyone in here. We want to see Dame win or just be in the finals.
I'm a hater.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm just kidding. I love Dame. I have a Dame jersey.
You want to see him in the finals. Like, this guy has suffered long enough for, 11, 12 hard years.
11 years.
So you want to see this guy do better, and that's why I think that it's... I didn't think... Honestly, he wanted to go to Miami, but, the whole time, as a Butler fan, I didn't see, how that makes, Miami, how he fits into Miami's... how
they
that
got
fits.
rid of their system for him.
Yeah, they just got rid of they would have got rid of their system for him, right? But I think this is the only situation he could have gone to that complements him and the way he plays very well. Other teams could have got him and they would have been successful. They would have been in the playoffs. They would have been first, second round, maybe even finals teams. But I feel like there's no other system he could have gone to that fits him as well as Milwaukee does with Giannis.
What about the Blazers?
Last thing I'm going to say. Before that, I guess it ties into the Blazers as well. So I'll say it, and then we can just jump towards the Blazers. So the general manager for the Blazers, I think he's the general manager, he basically told Dame, Dame got asked a question. He was like, yeah, I would love to, go back and retire there. Yeah, I'd love to go back and play there again, in Portland. And the GM was like, nah, he's not welcome back, which is crazy. But,
we don't know what happened behind closed doors. He did drop a diss track.
On Scoot.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He did.
How you feel about that?
That's wild.
How you feel about that?
I mean, I feel like
he's 34 years old.
This is a 19-year-old kid.
Grow up. I don't know.
No, I mean, I get he feels disrespected, but it's not Scoot's fault.
Yeah,
He didn't pick himself for that pick. He would have picked himself first overall. He done told everyone before he got drafted, I'm number one pick. Scoot, obviously, he wanted to be number one overall pick. You don't think he wanted to go to Portland? He wanted to be first overall. He didn't make that
GM. Go to San Antonio than Portland.
I don't think he wanted to be first, but
he wanted to be first.
I didn't think it really mattered what team it was.
I would rather go to Charlotte.
I don't really think it mattered what team it was.
Yeah, because Charlotte would be fun. But now that Dame's out of there, I think Portland.
Living situation.
Oh, Portland's not a bad. I'd love to live in Portland.
Doesn't it rain a lot?
I mean, it's
Oregon. So.
Yeah, but it's just nicer, of a place than Charlotte is. Charlotte's disgusting.
Charlotte's fire.
No, it's not.
You've never been?
Have you?
Nope.
I've been to Charlotte.
He ain't been to Charlotte.
I've been to Charlotte.
Spell it. I got him. All right. Anyways, so moving on to Portland. Portland right now, as of 4:48 p.m. October 1st.
Guys, it's October.
It is the best month.
Best month of the year.
As of right now, their starting five could be Scoot Henderson, Anthony Simons, Jeremy Grant, Deandre Ayton, Robert Williams. I almost said Robin Lopez. Robert Williams.
That's a solid five.
That's a good starting five. And the thing I love about it is if they still want to move on from Jeremy Grant at the trade deadline, they can.
They're not trying to win.
He's just making a lot of money, though. I don't know who would want that contract.
A contender. Any contender. Jeremy Grant is a solid player.
I heard during the offseason whenever he signed that contract that the GM kind of fleeced him into it and said that they thought Dame was going to be back, and that's why he ended up signing with Portland again. And then literally a few weeks later, that's whenever Dame put in his trade request. So I don't think Jeremy's going to be there long term, but that's just me speaking out of.
I don't think he's going to be there long term either. But again, just for now, that starting five is really good.
Yeah.
And you still have Shaden Sharp.
I love Shaden Sharp.
And some other young guys. I'm blanking. But the Blazers, I like their team.
What's Keegan's
They have
younger
Malcolm
brother?
Brogdon right now,
Keegan's brother's name?
as of right now. Chris.
Chris Murray,
Yeah.
a rookie. They had a really good rookie draft class. Like, honestly, I can't think of their names right now for some reason, but I'm blinking. But, no, Blazers have a really good squad. They're not in win now mode, obviously.
They're going to be so fun.
They're going to be a really fun team to watch. And I feel like they're going to end up shipping Jeremy Grant by the end of the trade deadline just because he doesn't fit their timeline. They're not trying to win. And I feel like Jeremy Grant would love to play on a contender because he's suffered enough in his career. He's like, what, 8, 9 seasons?
All he had to do was stay with the Nuggets.
He should have. He should have
All he
stayed
had
with
to
the
do was
Nuggets.
stay with the Nuggets.
But, yeah, he's suffered enough. Get him on a winning team and get some more picks back for him, even if it's a second-round pick. You're Portland. You want your players to develop. You want to give.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
What happened?
We, flashed.
Yeah.
Oh, happened again.
I think it's your shirt.
Whose shirt?
It's because I'm white.
Okay, DeAndre Ayton, I like it a lot.
I've always been a DeAndre Ayton believer, and to see him on a team where they're just gonna let him have touches.
I just
and
hope
have
he
fun.
doesn't turn into LaMarcus Aldridge. Well, LaMarcus Aldridge was an all-star, yes. Not hating on LaMarcus Aldridge,
Marcus Aldridge is great.
but
He just had blood clots.
LaMarcus Aldridge is a Hall of
Or is that
Famer,
Chris
bro.
Bosh? I
He's
think
going to
Chris
be
Bosh
a
got
Hall
blood
of
I was
clots.
about
Famer.
to say, is he inducted to the Hall of Fame?
Not
I don't
yet,
think he
but
is.
I feel like he's going to be a Hall of Famer.
He should be. No, DeAndre Ayton, I just feel like his time in Phoenix was over with. It was sure, they got rid of the head coach, they got rid of Chris Paul, they got rid of everybody but Devin Booker pretty much.
Literally.
And I just feel like when you're not enjoying yourself, no matter how many changes you're going to make, it's not going to help. So to see him go from a situation where he doesn't feel comfortable to Portland, where he's already starting out, there's a picture of him playing 2K. The day he got traded, he was in Blazers gear.
You see the video of him in the locker room?
No.
They had his locker up and they put his jersey in there. He's wearing number 2, and dude looked so excited. He had the hugest smile on his face.
He's
like,
again,
dude,
he looks.
Look at my jersey. He's happy, and I was like,
really happy. Yeah.
you want to see that?
And he gets to play power forward, which is the position he wants to play.
Mm-hmm.
Since Robert.
Oh, and the Blazers lost. You said Nurkic. Where'd Nurkic?
Nurkic is on the Suns.
So,
But the only downside I see people talking about is DeAndre Ayton hasn't panned out yet. Even if he doesn't turn into anything good, he still averaged 18 and 10.
yeah.
He's a young guy, adding him to more young guys, he's either going to get better or stay the same. And if he stays the same,
That's a good career.
That's a great career.
Yeah.
And he'll have Scoot. He'll have those young guys again, like we said earlier. I really like it for him, and I think he's gonna blossom. I think he'll do good.
I think it's good for Chauncey Billups as a head coach to not, because he was very weary of taking the job in the first place with the whole Blazers losing the playoffs every year. Dame's going to be here for 60 years. Chauncey, being a new head coach, he's his 3rd season. He needs a situation where he can just give young players a lot of touches and establish a system that people want to be in, and make Scoot be the kind of person that Scoot believes that he is, and then make DeAndre Ayton or try and help DeAndre Ayton be what people thought he was going to be whenever he was the first overall pick. Just give them their touches and give them their time and have fun with it, and lose a lot of games along the way because you'll get better.
You can probably get Bronny James and LeBron next year.
That's the goal for everybody. Everyone that's sitting around that 22nd pick in the draft next year, they're like, we're getting LeBron.
Unless Bronny balls out this year. Shout out Bronny.
Poor LeBron's got to go play in Orlando.
Tough. They wear Windows goggles all the time.
You think LeBron mapped that out because just so happens to be a free agent next year? I don't think it's unrestricted, but
I thought he just signed an extension.
no, his contract
Last
ends up
year.
next year. I think. It was 2
I
years
think
ago. For
no,
2
it
years.
ends this year.
Yeah, it ends this year.
Yeah.
I know. I just got to look
No,
at
it
that.
for sure ends this year. I
Yeah.
finished my career 4 times. It ends this year. He's a free agent every time he retires.
He won't retire this year, though. But
No.
because he signed it 2 years ago. It was after the championship, I believe.
I don't know.
He's a free agent in 2025.
Well, then 2K is fake.
Yeah.
Well, it's because he has a player option, so he can pick up his player option after this year.
Oh, well, then yeah.
But
he
probably in
can
2K. I bet in 2K he just drops it every year.
I would drop it.
but he can be.
Oh, well, he's going to drop it if he's going to play with his son.
Well, I don't know if he's going to drop it because if you drop it, then you're losing out on $51 million. And no one's going to
He's a billionaire, dude. He literally said he'd play for a minimum. Like, bro, you think LeBron needs money? You think LeBron plays basketball for money?
I think LeBron's going to let it be Bronny's choice because he was talking in one of his podcasts here recently, and he said, of course that's what I want to do. It's what I've always wanted to do, but it's not about what I want to do. If Bronny doesn't want it, then I'm not going to force it on him.
Why don't he want to play with Bryce? What Bryce do?
I think he was saying that about the sport.
Why you hate Bryce?
I think he was saying that about the sport because Bronny's into gaming, good at gaming. If Bronny didn't want to take the sport route and just stick to gaming.
Yeah. But he brought up like playing with him, and they're like, yeah, obviously I'd love to play with him in the same team. But I mean, if you're Bronny James and you're already under your dad's shadow, I mean, I guess it really doesn't matter. You're already a millionaire at the age of 19, and you're gonna have a successful life regardless. But it's just all about your own ego and your own whatever. If you don't want to have your dad on your team, I bet LeBron would honor that.
If you was in Bronny's shoes, what would you do?
I think it'd be cool because it'd be the second time it's ever happened in pro sports where a dad and son played on the same team. Obviously, with Ken Griffey Sr. and Jr. playing together on the baseball side of it, but I mean, that's just me coming from, that'd be super dope, and that's also me talking as a fan. I'm not a collegiate athlete whose dad is like arguably the best basketball player of all time. It could be different nuances to it that I don't understand. But that's just.
What would you do in Bronny's shoes?
I don't know. It depends on how I feel.
Let's stomp around.
If I love basketball, I'd play ball. If I don't love basketball,
I'm talking about playing with your dad in the league.
That's what I'm saying. If I loved basketball, I would do it. But if I don't love basketball, then I don't want to get put. I don't want my first situation to be with one of the greatest, his dad, and one of the greatest basketball players of all time. Because there's going to be so many people that want to see you fail. So if you don't love basketball, that's not only going to not make you want to stop playing, but it's not going to help you want to play. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was a poor word decision, but I think I got the point across.
Yeah. Like, I think with the Ken Griffey, him and his dad, when they played together, it was clear that Ken Griffey was, like, number one pick in the draft. He's going to, like, he has a better upside than his dad ever had. But it'd be a lot different if your dad is, like, the best baseball player ever, and you have to go play with him.
That's why
you might be like,
Marcus Jordan and I forgot the other one's name, but they never panned out because there's pressure in that. There's so much pressure.
So much.
If you're living in a shadow, and the shadow is huge, how are you gonna overcome it?
As you guys can see, it's easier to have like a dad who's like a good NBA basketball player and be a lot better. Than having a really good basketball father,
Curry, Steph
and
Curry.
then you just can't live up to that. Like Tim Hardaway Jr. is not going to be as good as Tim Hardaway, right? Not going to happen.
Is crazy.
Not going to happen. But Del Curry, who was just a role player for 35 years, feels like his sons are better than him because he can be like, oh, these were my weaknesses, work on them. But if you're like goated and you're Michael Jordan, what? Your son's not going to be better than you, and having that like lurk over you is just hard.
But I mean, we're in a different time now where media's following Bronny and Bryce.
And
they were in middle school.
They get hate every single day.
Exactly.
So they could be used to it, sure.
Yeah, it's like,
but they haven't met the NBA fans yet.
Yeah.
There's still people out there that don't even like.
There's like the NBA casuals that don't care, and they'll care whenever they're in the league. They don't care about high school ball. They don't care about college. But the moment they're in the NBA, they're like, oh, fuck Ronnie James.
Yep. But these are the two kids who have posted up hooping in the Lakers practice facility, who probably play with more than just LeBron James. I mean, they probably hoop with the whole damn team. Probably shot around and learned something from everybody.
I mean, but
and you got NBA friends like Dwayne Wade and Carmelo Anthony and stuff like that who could most definitely give you game.
Gonna be nice.
Most definitely give you game on what to do, what not to do, weaknesses, work on strengths, weaknesses, whatever the case may be. I have high hopes for him.
Not me.
Yeah.
I have high hopes for him. What?
If let's say I was Carmelo, and LeBron was my friend, and LeBron's son wanted to learn from me, but I had a son around the same age.
Like, okay, well, I'll use
Bryce. Give me $10,000 for an hour.
This is how you play defense.
I'll use Bryce for an example because he was on the the Strive for Greatness travel team, and you have your dad and Rajon Rondo as your coaches, two of the smartest minds in NBA history.
Yeah.
Like, you're learning stuff just off that alone.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not the NBA, but I mean, it's a mental game. I mean,
But-
it's partly a mental game, and if you can learn or get a little bit of that, then
I
you
get
can
that.
go
Like,
a long way. Hell, we could go to the park with Rajon Rondo, and he could put us all in game and make us a little bit better as basketball players.
no, I understand. Like
I'm making Rondo better.
having really good resources means a lot, but having really good resources does not trump talent.
No,
And-
right.
And like for instance, Zaire Wade and Sharif O'Neal. I've loved watching them play for like the past 6-7 years, just from like high school and then college ball and everything. And obviously their dads are like some of my favorite NBA players of all time. And they've had every resource given to them. Zaire, was at like since 2003 has been with D Wade at the Heat training facility, just working, playing basketball. Sharif O'Neal has been playing basketball since he was young, playing basketball with Kobe, playing basketball with his dad, and having like all these siblings that also play basketball, right? It's just sometimes having all those really good resources does not trump talent, and some players that don't have any resources at all, like Giannis, had nothing, and his just like hard work and his talent that he got himself has made him like top tier kind of guy. So I get what you're saying, like Bronny and Bryce being around all these really good resources
since they were young too.
Since they were young, but like I feel like it's all about
You could
if you love basketball and if you want to just work for it.
Exactly. Hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard. Shout
Exactly.
out Kevin Durant. He stole that quote from somebody, but I always say Kevin Durant said it. I was gonna say something else. Oh yeah. You can tell somebody as many times as you want. Like you can tell them to do the right thing, but that doesn't like just because you tell them, you can tell them 100 times. This is how you do it. It doesn't matter. If they don't do it like that, then or like if they don't want to do, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
You can't lead a horse to water.
There you go. Yeah, you can't make a horse drown or whatever.
But you can run a horse.
So.
Okay, so we got a little off topic.
Suns.
We're down a really big.
We're on the Suns. Yusuf
rabbit trail.
Nurkic. Yusuf Nurkic is on the Suns now. Yusuf Nurkic.
Yeah, you can merge on the Suns. So Bronny. No.
Yusuf Nurkic.
Okay, so
But I do feel like he would fit better in the Sun system than DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton wanted touches. He wasn't going to get that. Yusuf Nurkic doesn't care. Yusuf Nurkic is not going to get touches. And believe it or not, before he got injured, he was a decent defender. He was decent. I'm not saying he's like that now, but maybe there's some flashes of hope in him.
So the whole thing with this whole Suns offseason is they're like, oh my gosh, they have all this top end talent: Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and then they had DeAndre Ayton. They're like, oh my gosh, it's 4 all-star caliber guys. And 3 of them are, all-time kind of players, right?
About that, I'll say
And then-
5. I'm like, but
No.
Brad or not.
No, like top of the league kind of guys, but you don't have depth, and so this adds like a lot of depth. Getting Grayson Allen on your bench, getting Nurkic, who's not going to require
make
a
it
lot.
to the playoffs. Grayson
at all.
Allen will injure Jokic in a heartbeat.
Now Christian Braun has anything to say about it.
Brown.
Braun. It's spelled Braun, but whatever. You know what I meant.
But it just, I feel like
I
it
see
really.
him being I see him being the Grayson Allen of Denver. But
Yeah.
he's gonna go trying to clothesline the shed if you want to lay up.
And we got
Shout out
Nasir
Grayson
Little.
Allen.
Nasir Little.
Best fast break defender ever.
Who's?
Grayson Allen.
Dude, have you met LeBron James?
Well, didn't in college like Grayson Allen like fucking pull somebody
What
down?
didn't
off
Grayson
the-
Allen do in college?
Didn't he
was there
fucking
for 8 years.
Kick 18 people like once a year. He
Yeah.
would kick somebody or
He
trip
got it
somebody.
from his favorite player.
Who?
Dre.
First of all, it's not my favorite player. Second of all, Grayson Allen was doing it before Draymond was.
So they've added 4 players to their depth: Keon Johnson, Grayson Allen, Nurkic, and Nasir Little. I like Nasir.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've called him Nasir this whole time he's been.
Well, that's
Nasir Little. He's really good. So that's like 4 solid role players that don't demand a lot of touches.
that's Nassar, right?
We're ending this right now.
Hey yo,
No, but that's 4 really good role players that don't demand a lot of touches, but they can
what they have
give
to
you
cut?
some valuable minutes
And
off the bench.
speaking of adding to the depth, whatever the fuck, you know what I meant. I seen the Clippers were interested in Josh Primo.
They're not interested. They
They
signed
got him.
Oh, they got him?
Yeah.
Okay. I must have seen him before he signed him.
Before we leave the Suns,
But he is suspended for 4 games.
before we leave the Suns, Bradley Beal and John Wall worked out together sometime this week. And
Sign John Wall.
Bradley Beal
Sign
said he
John
misses
Wall.
working with John Wall.
Sign John
John
Wall.
Wall is one of my favorite players of all
I'm a
time.
big John Wall fan. Please.
If the Warriors
sign
can't
John.
win a chip,
No.
I either want John Wall to win a chip or Damian Lillard to win a chip.
I need LeBron for 5. Sign John Wall. If they put John Wall in Phoenix, I feel they can make it work. You got John Wall, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, KD, and Nurkic. Is that gonna be their 5? Is that gonna be their starting
Oh yeah,
5?
that'll be their five.
That
You
would
think John Wall would start?
probably not, but it'd be crazy.
I'd start him.
Who else would they
All
start?
biased on board.
Damian Lee.
No.
Get the dude,
Warriors legend, but hell no.
Curry's brother-in-law.
I gotta look at the Suns team.
But
Bobo.
dude, add John Wall. Add John Wall. If any Phoenix exec is watching this right now, hey, and
Oh,
sign
Josh
John Wall.
Okogie's gonna start for him.
You are a fucking
No, like as of right now, he's gonna start
Oh.
for him. That's who I was thinking of earlier. Yeah,
You're
like
a moron.
that's their starter as of right now.
dude. John Wall, sign John Wall. Have John Wall sign a minimum first off, not sign for $200 million like he has past
sign
8
for-
contracts.
He would sign for $1 million. I mean, a minimum.
Guys, I'm gonna say
Basically,
this to the camera because I'm not gonna say it to these guys because they're gonna hate me. I love John Wall a lot, but I feel like there's some players that bring a little bit more to teams than he would, and I don't think he'd solve
needs
a
3.
lot of problems.
Who are you picking up that's
He's
in
gonna pick
free
up Isaiah
agency right
Thomas. He's
now
gonna pick up Isaiah Thomas.
over John Wall?
He's gonna pick up Isaiah Thomas.
That's a point guard, not just any player.
Okay, let's look at.
Okay, while he's doing that, I'm going to transition to the Jrue Holiday going to the Celtics.
Transition.
Jrue Holiday is
I knew it.
taking over.
What a way to introduce
So whenever Marcus Smart got traded over, he's like, "Oh my God, they gave up their defense for Kristaps Porzingis. You just added the best defender, the best perimeter defender in the league to your team." My personal opinion, Jrue Holiday, Marcus Smart. That's my opinion. You know,
I like Marcus Smart more on the offensive end. As
that's
of right
fine.
now.
But
As
I
of
didn't
right
need
now.
Marcus Smart on the
Yeah,
offensive end.
But I get it, but I'm saying on the offensive end, I'd rather have Marcus Smart. But
Right.
defensively, yeah, I'd rather have Jrue Holiday.
So that's literally it.
I feel like
Um,
Porzingis is gonna work out.
Porzingis
So who's
had the
who's
foot
gonna be
thing.
their 5 though? They got Robert out there.
Probably Porzingis.
But who's okay? So they got
Al Horford would be their 4.
okay.
Or Al Horford is-
I forgot about Al Horford.
They could do Al Horford at the 5 and let Porzingis roam like they
Stretch.
let Rob. Yeah.
I think the Celtics are very top heavy in terms of talent. They're not deep, but their top talent is really good,
Peyton Pritchard.
and they're not.
Wait, you
like-
wait on
He
it.
wanted out.
He did.
He's gonna want back in.
I
Once
think
he
they
does.
are only like a few steps behind Milwaukee in terms of like talent wise. I think what they were missing was a really consistent scoring big man. They got him in Porzingis, and that probably put them over the Miami hump they've been missing out on for the past few years. And then they got rid of Marcus Smart, but they got someone who's just as good at defense in Jrue Holiday. That is a few miles ahead of him offensively. So I think you upgraded at your guard position, even though he's a little bit older. I think he's a lot better of a player than Marcus Smart is in Boston's system. So I think Boston, they addressed the problems they had last year, and they're a better team going into this next season.
I'm still big. I mean, Cavs. It's my squad. I still got them over everybody. Don't care what Milwaukee got. Don't care what Boston got.
Jason Tatum opted against off-season wrist surgery. They suck. Just kidding.
Damn.
Draymond Green got injured. Sprained ankle, expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks. Campaign, we already said that.
When does the season start?
24th.
24th. Gotcha.
Wyndon Gabriel signed with the Celtics. Ooh. Sheesh.
Rodney McGruder signed with the Warriors.
We already fucked Rodney McGruder.
I feel like we just needed to remind everybody where Ronnie was going. I know.
The Spurs
Dude,
signed
Rudy
Reggie
Gay.
Bullock.
I like Rudy Gay and
Warriors.
a
Dude,
lot.
yes,
Pretty
that
good.
was I like that.
I love
pickup.
Because if they give him a champion, I've loved him since he played for fucking Sacramento. Like, I used to run that team with fucking Rondo, Rudy Gay, and Boogie on 2K, and that was like my low-key sleeper squad I'd beat people with, was those three people. And so I just love Rudy Gay a lot.
JK, Damian Lee is out until further notice due to right knee meniscus injury. Bring in John Wall, man.
There went your starter, Jacob.
Skylar Mays signs 2-way contract with the Blazers.
Just one Blazer. The Blazer.
That looks to be about it, low-key. Oh, wait.
Okay, so what I was trying to say about John Wall is that last
You didn't
year...
find anybody?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No, you guys took me... I was going to say...
anybody.
No.
You said you were
Okay.
gonna
Shh.
Hey,
So no,
that
there's
was very loud. We're in the
Chat
red.
clip that.
there's no changing of stories. What I was trying to say before Jordan interrupted me like 5 minutes ago is that
5 minutes ago.
there's a few players on Phoenix, maybe just one or two, that I don't think I'd start.
3. There goes the one.
I did not say 3.
You said 3 at first.
There are maybe one or two players on Phoenix that I would start over John Wall if he got picked up by them.
Who?
Just because if you look at what John Wall did
Who?
last year for the Clippers, whenever they gave him a pretty decent sized role, is he was strictly offense and he was not the same defender that he used to be before
He got injured.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Duh.
I'm just saying. He only gave them 11 points per game, right?
That's pretty good.
Which is good. But if that's all you're doing, that's kind of a liability. And if you're going to go to Phoenix, they don't need more scoring.
Team
right?
won't have to do that.
Phoenix doesn't need more scoring. They
But-
need defending and they need passing, and those are two things that he lacked last year, and he's lacked ever since he got hurt. And so I think Josh Okogie all around is more valuable to an offense in today's NBA than John Wall can on limited minutes. Just because Josh Okogie can give you those 9 points that you still would like to have, but he's a really good and consistent defender that John Wall has not been ever since he got hurt, which is just no knock to him.
We're going
He
to put
fucked
John
himself
Wall in a
up.
better system, better
Yeah.
group of guys. Back with Bradley Beal, who he was doing all that stuff with. So
No,
give him,
I
you
get
give
what
him
you're
some-
saying.
You give him something familiar. And plus
He gets a white center. Gortat Nurkic. You know he spoon feeds them white centers. You know
big,
it.
Big dog's got to
Gortat would not have gotten paid on any other team.
He would have got played with LeBron.
Facts.
LeBron said, "Hey Cavs, throw Tristan Thompson a huge bag."
Hey, he's back with us, and he doesn't have a huge bag.
What I was going to say is Okogie, yes, he's a better defender. But if you sign John Wall does not need to score. And I feel like he could just go back to his old ways. Pass the ball.
I don't think he'd be.
He just has to pass the ball.
Pass the ball.
But see, the difference between the Suns...
They don't need a facilitator, is what I'm
Clippers.
trying to say.
The difference between the Suns and the Clippers is that the Suns have Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Devin Booker, and Kevin Durant. Like, those are three elite scorers.
And when he played
on the Clippers, he
Paul
had
George?
a half and half PG and a 20-game Kawhi. Like, who is he feeding?
Okay,
Zubac?
Zubac is
A white
fucking
center.
crazy.
Damn!
I saw.
Damn! You're redlining.
Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that there's not a lot that I think that John Wall will bring that would elevate the Suns.
You're just a hater.
No, I'm telling you, I love John Wall. I had a John Wall fan account back in like 2014.
You got the fan account, bro.
I did, bro.
Not a Jimmy Butler one?
I had just a regular Bulls one. Because I liked the Bulls and then I had players. So I was a Boogie fan, I was a John Wall fan, because I used to like Kentucky back whenever I was like in middle school.
I'm so sorry for you.
But what I'm trying to say
Used
is
to.
that...
You're a bandwagon?
No.
Who you rock with now in college?
Since middle school, back in the 6th grade, me and Brock Simmons had this fight. He was a big Duke fan.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, I like Kentucky because they were winning. But I was like, I've always liked UCLA. So whenever Kentucky got really good with like Anthony Davis, and then there was like that 4 to 6 year stretch where they had like a top pick in the draft, I was like, okay, I'm not going to pick them because I'm going to just be a bandwagon. So I went with my other team that I said I liked in UCLA, and I've been rocking with them ever since.
Bruh. You know a college player that went to UCLA and was really good, but I don't see him no more?
Lonzo
Jalen
Ball.
Hands.
You didn't even let me take a guess.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I definitely would have said Jalen Hands.
Jalen
Jalen
Hands
Hands.
was nasty, bro.
God
Shout out to
bless
Dogs.
it.
But back to, sorry, rabbit trails.
What are the dogs barking at?
I just the Suns don't need a facilitator or someone that's going to give them 10 points a game. They need defense because that's something that they're lacking right now, all around as a team. And I don't feel like John Wall is the defender he ever was, even though he was like one of the best ever. So
The Pacers waived Jordan Bell and Elfrid Payton.
both of them.
Both of them.
You see the Pacers
Elfrid
took
Payton back to
Pacers
the
took a shot
Suns.
at Paul George?
Huh?
You see the Pacers took a shot at Paul George?
I did not.
They made, I think I seen something on Instagram that the Pacers posted something and it was like one of their players like Gillen, but it was like in Paul George's face.
The Grizzlies waived Josh Christopher. And
What?
Isaiah Todd.
Damn.
Grizzlies sleeper team. They are going to be really good. I feel like. Do not knock them, but I feel like inexperience in the playoffs will show whenever they get there. But I think they're going to be like top 4 team in the East.
Man. I got Grizzlies.
The
getting
Sixers.
bumped to a
I
fifth.
forgot. Sixers news. Sixers fans probably already know this, but I don't know if you two do or if any of our viewers do. James Harden, back when he was in Houston, he was dating this girl named Shy.
Shout out, Shy.
He had a party, and there was another NBA player at that party. And that NBA player's name was Kelly Oubre. Turns out Kelly Oubre left with Shy from James Harden's party while they were still together. Kelly Oubre is now married to Shy, and they have 2 kids. And now they're teammates right now, technically.
That's why he went out.
No, he wanted out before they signed him.
They just picked up Kelly
They just
like
picked
a few years ago.
That's crazy that they would even do that. That's Daryl Morey saying, "I got money" or
He's
something.
like-
That's crazy though.
Where you think James Harden's gonna go? Or gonna want to go?
It's going to be Malcolm Brogdon to the Sixers, James Harden to the Clippers, and the Pacers. The Trailblazers get hell picks.
No, I think honestly, this just.
Okay.
I think honestly, Miami's just like they're mad that they lost out on Dame.
Yo.
No, I'm just saying no. Miami's not gonna have an offseason where they lose fucking 3 or 4 players and not get anything
Yeah,
back.
they are.
No, they're
They're
not.
doing
It's
it
about
right
to
now.
happen.
Yeah, they're literally
Because
in the midst of it.
Literally, they were supposed to get Dame. Everyone's
Look,
like,
James and Jimmy already trying to make it work. And they
no, I'm
didn't,
just
okay?
saying. I'm just saying. They're supposed to get Dame. Even 2K thought they're gonna get Dame,
Me
right?
personally, I'm not picking James Harden.
No,
To go to
oh my
Miami.
gosh.
He'll
I don't
have
want it
more
to happen.
minutes- He'll have more minutes in the
Oh my
fucking,
gosh!
the
You guys don't even let me
Hookers
talk.
Lounge.
You guys just say random shit. You guys just say random shit. Don't even let me talk, right? Let me explain. Just pick apart my shit after I say it, okay?
Ew! What the fuck?
You can dig through my poop when I'm done, right? So
Oh man.
Miami did not get Dame. They
Yep.
thought they
Facts.
were, right? And so yesterday, I was like, Miami and 2 other teams are some of the teams that are winning Jrue Holiday, right? So you're like,
They didn't get him
okay.
either.
They didn't get him either. There's only one all-star caliber player that is throwing a fit to get out of wherever he's at right now, and that's James Harden. Whether you keep him all year long or you just trade him for him right now and see if it works the first half of the season and then get him out of there, whatever you do, I think James Harden would like to be in Miami because they're a really good organization.
Party City.
Party City, it's Miami, but they're very well coached, and I think it's just he'd like it there, and
BBL world.
he'd love it. And I think if there's
Too much.
if there's one executive or coach that can make a player like James Harden play pretty good,
Steve
it's
Kerr.
probably no.
Send him to Golden State.
Please, for the love
It's
of God.
definitely Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra.
He's for the love of God.
I don't want James Harden in his fat suit anywhere near.
Bro,
Dude, he is scrawny, bro. He looks sick.
Okay, hypothetically, what if he didn't go to the Clippers, but he went to the Lakers? He somehow managed a way to get to
Oh
LA.
my
That's the Lakers.
Here's every Lakers fan.
No. I'm
What
saying,
if-
I'm saying like how crazy.
Will
would it be?
Chamberlain came back from the dead, and
Okay.
we signed his
That's
zombie
wild.
to a 10-day
That's
contract.
crazy. R.I.P. Wilt.
Like okay, he wants to go to the Clippers, but like
Yeah.
the Clippers don't. I don't think the Clippers have depth enough to get.
Have what?
Shut up. They don't have a. They don't have. They're not deep enough to get James
You
Harden.
didn't say depth.
Your dick.
Shut up, I'm sick. But that don't matter. Anyway, and the Lakers team is deep, so they have more to give up than the Clippers do. So like, what if they somehow managed a way to get James Harden? I don't think it'll happen, but I mean, hell, we just seen Damian Lillard go to Milwaukee, so I feel like you can't toss any team out of there.
I think if you're the Los Angeles Lakers and you went to, what was it, 5? No, they went to Game 7 with the Nuggets, right?
No, they went to
5.
5 because
but they went to, they went to Game 5 with the Nuggets and they got a lot better and a lot more deep. If you're the Lakers, I would not make any moves unless that team ends up just being like blah.
Rui's been training with LeBron, and they said, and what's his name? Lakers owner, executive. Rob Pelinka said that Rui's like a new player, his old self, or wherever the hell.
Guys, I didn't know that Rob Pelinka played with the Fab Five in college. I was just watching the Fab Five documentary yesterday, and they're like, "Yeah, Rob Pelinka's on our team, and he's a really good shooter." And I just saw a young Rob Pelinka, and I was like, "What the fuck? This guy play basketball?"
Right. Darvin Ham had a guard against young LeBron James. Now Darvin Ham is the LA coach, and
go listen to All the Smoke podcast where Darvin Ham is interviewed by Matt Barnes and Stack Jack.
Why?
Listen to us.
Darvin Ham's interview is very good.
Not as good as ours.
We haven't interviewed anybody. But whenever we
Stuff's
do.
in the works, though. It's in the works. Stuff they don't know about. It's behind the scenes.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been talking to Lori Markkinen's wife again.
Behind the scenes. We're trying to get stuff.
You know what's crazy?
Season's about to start. We can't do too much at the moment, but stuff's behind the scenes.
Through the wire, Kenny said that he DM'd Lowry Markkinen himself to try to get him on the show. He didn't say whether he agreed or not. But all I'm saying is, if I see Lowry on Through the Wire after Miss Lowry said that he doesn't like to do interviews, I'm gonna be kind of upset, Miss.
Yes, Miss Verna Markkinen.
I just want to ask him how the war. They weren't even in a war, I don't think, but how the army was.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I don't even want to ask him basketball. I will not ask a single basketball
His
question.
favorite food.
What was the weirdest thing you ate in America that was different than what you ate in Finland? And what over there would you consider different?
What's your favorite road city? That's basketball. Damn it. Fuck. How's Miami?
Got a casual over here.
Casual.
That's it for the news.
What's your best friend's name from childhood?
What's your mother's maiden name?
What's your teacher's first name?
What was your first pet?
What were your grades back in the 3rd grade?
We're just naming security questions. Where were you born?
For real. I guess his fucker's password or some shit. Trying to hack his Instagram account. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe.
On Spotify, just like and follow, and you'll get notifications every time an episode comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Are we doing a Rush Racket?
We're going to do Rush Racket after...
probably 2 weeks later because Jacob doesn't know how to get it out.
So we talked about this last time, is that we're doing Rush Racket once a month instead of...
Okay, so when is the next Rush Racket? Because if it's not soon, I have something to get off my mind.
So what is it?
Yeah, don't rush it.
Today is week 4. We're going to do it at the 5-week mark because there's
too long.
There's 18 weeks.
Chris Olave. Catch a ball, damn it.
Christian McCaffrey.
Catch a ball.
I love you,
Catch a ball.
Alright, that's it.
Peace.